The dog scene 1. The dog scene 1. Take a marker. Let's go for it, guys.
What's up, guys? Today I am doing a video, and I don't think I've ever been as nervous for any video I've ever made. For any press conference, any boxing match, any speech in front of a crowd. But I saw Anthony Padilla from Smosh. If you don't know, they got back together recently.
All right, we gotta start with a hug. Do we have to be like this really awkward low hug? Yeah, with the butts out.
And they're also an OG duo from back in the day, the same time era as Wassabi Productions. And I really respected what they did, putting everything out on the table.
And our friendship started deteriorating as well.
What friendship?
And hashing the past out.
To a certain degree, like I was operating on like fear of like, I don't want to lose this thing.
And I realized since Roy and I have made SPICYFRUIT, if you haven't checked out the channel, we have posted a lot of content over there. Season 1 has just completed, and I fear that we might repeat the past.
The good old days.
And we might make the same mistakes as we made before.
What I would do to be in that situation again.
So I wanted to have a mature conversation with Roy and have him back, and we can talk about everything that we've never talked about in the last 17 years of making YouTube videos. So without further ado, guava juice.
Oh, hey man, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
You think we're gonna repeat the same mistakes?
I feel like this is probably a good thing to do, because I feel like we both grew up in families where we loved, it's very family oriented. Both of us are very family oriented, but it's not very emotionally communicative. Like my family, we loved each other, but we didn't grow up saying we loved each other. We knew, but we didn't grow up talking about that, so I didn't really have the tools necessary to talk.
Yeah, I feel like same.
Yeah.
Like we grew up, like we knew we loved each other, but I think just not being exposed to expressing feelings really affected our relationship. When we did Wassabi together.
Yeah.
And then yet alone we did a business together. We didn't know how to run a business.
We were kids.
Yeah, we were kids.
So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
So how did we first meet?
All right. I'm gonna f***ing cry in this video. I already know it, dude.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. There's so many things that like I regret from the past that I'm excited to talk about and get it done, put it to bed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Same. But I feel like it was needed to get to where we are now.
It was needed, yeah.
But where we met, I met you. You say we met in middle school in Magic Trick, but I remember meeting you before then.
What?
Yeah, no.
No way!
Because our dads used to play basketball together in a league.
Yeah.
And then I would just see you like walking around like, oh, cool. Nice.
No way.
Yeah.
That was before middle school?
That was before middle school.
So how old? Like, I moved to North Carolina when I was 10.
Probably 11.
I was 11 and you were 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I would just see you occasionally. I didn't talk to you. I was like, oh, cool kid.
Yeah.
I've never seen you around. And then in middle school, when we were about to be picked up.
Yeah. I ran up to you.
Hey man, you want to see a cool magic trick? You go like this,
Yeah.
Oh, you swap your fingers, okay, and then go like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was
What did you think in that
I
moment?
thought you were the f***ing coolest kid. I was
Really?
like, damn, yeah, no.
No. What?
No, you gotta understand, like, I just came back from the Philippines.
Yeah.
And I was just, like, lost. I was, like, so used to the Filipino culture.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I don't have any friends. And then you came up, I was like, nice. This kid came up to me, he's like, oh, this cool guy.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was nice.
That's crazy.
I don't remember much of you after that. I just remember you moved into the same neighborhood.
Yeah. We were 3 houses from each other, 4 houses down.
Yeah, you moved in. I was like, oh, okay.
I was excited too because it was a new neighborhood.
Yeah.
I didn't have very many friends either, so you gave me friends.
Me?
Like,
I gave you one friend.
Your first friend, but then you gave me friends because you introduced me to Jeff and
yeah.
everybody, and like Dean and Tyus. Yeah, so you pretty much gave me my childhood.
Oh wow.
Yeah, even though I was your first friend, you gave me all my friends.
Yeah.
And I'm still friends with them to this day.
Dang, that's cool.
Yeah, and then I remember Roy's always been very like creative and like go for it kind of guy where you're just like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna learn how to do this, I'm gonna teach myself how to do this. And you got your family's camera because we were kids, we didn't have cameras.
Yeah, they didn't use it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna steal this shit.
Yeah. I remember you started filming videos with like a bunch of your friends, and then I think you filmed a couple videos, and one day you're like, hey, you want to be part of this video? I was like, yeah. And then I fell in love with it, and I was like, whoa. And I just always was a creative guy too. I just didn't have an outlet until you gave me an outlet. And then all our friends like moved on to talking to girls and sports and high school normal stuff. And you and me were like, let's stay nerds.
Dude, this was 2004.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. But just falling in love, just like being in front of the camera and making stuff, it's pretty sweet.
It was cool just like coming up with something in your brain as a kid, and like it's the craziest thing. It's like, there's no way I can make this reality. And then we put it on the screen and you edited it. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy that we're able to do this.
Yeah.
Then YouTube came along in 2006.
Yep.
And what was that?
I mean, YouTube, I thought it was a cool place just to put videos.
Yeah, right.
And then I didn't realize that people actually watch YouTube until, you see the view counter, and then you see like people watching. Like, oh my God, there's 56 people watching this right now.
We thought, oh, we're gonna put this up here. It's a cool place to store your videos. You can like send it to your friends and family. They can see it. But then like hundreds of people watch it, then thousands, and then eventually hundreds of thousands, millions of people start watching it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think we just love entertaining people.
Yeah.
Especially you. Like, you just the magic trick. I was like, oh, this guy's an entertainer. And for me, I just like same thing. If I'm like unleashed, you like break me out of my shell. I'm like, I'm trying to make you laugh too. Yeah, so over time I was like, okay, I think we make a good little duo.
Yeah. And then we made videos. Like, we consistently made videos for like 5 years, not getting paid, no nothing.
It was just for fun. I mean, back in the day, lip syncs were really popular, so we just did a whole bunch of like parodies, lip syncs. And then
the first paycheck came in.
First paycheck. I don't remember how much of first paycheck came in.
I remember getting us looking it up, and I'm like, whoa, because we went to Florida to visit some friends. Yeah. And we were coming back, and we stopped at a restaurant to eat, and I remember being like, man, like, I have to get an oil change, I have to get this done, like, I have to get my parents' tire or whatever. I didn't have a car, it was my parents' car. I was like, I gotta fix this, I gotta fix that, I got a dent. And I was really stressing because I spent too much money in Florida because we had too much fun. Yeah. And I remember you being like, hey man, like, I was down in the dumps, and you're like, bro, don't worry, like, it's gonna be fine. Let's check the Wassabi account, and maybe we made some money or something. And you flipped the phone around and showed me, and it was like $7,000. Oh! Yeah,
that's a lot.
I was like, because I was working as a waiter, and I would make $15,000 a month.
15,000?
No, sorry, $1,500 a month, and that was like on a good month. And so to see $7,000, I was like, whoa. I remember jumping up, like, oh my God, freaking out. I called my dad. I was like, Dad, I made money, and he was like, what? And he was like, remember that, like, all those videos we've been doing for years, like, it's paying off, like, and I remember being like, oh, I'm gonna start tearing up. I remember being like, I'm gonna take care of you. Like, I'm gonna, like, this is it. This is gonna work. Like, I'm gonna focus on this. I'm gonna take care of you, Mom. Don't worry. Like, you guys growing up, when I grew up, you guys were doing, like, you guys are working, like, 2 jobs each. Like, we didn't even see them that much growing up because they were working so hard to take care of the family. And I was like, this is all I ever wanted as a kid, is to take care of you guys. And that was the first big, like, oh shit, it's really happening. So that was like a big point in my life. When
you did it, bro.
It became a possibility, yeah.
No.
And then, okay, hold on.
You gotta take your time. The thing is, you did it.
Yeah, we did it.
Spoilers, we did it.
We did it. Yeah. So then, from then on, we took it serious. It became a real business. It wasn't just like playing around anymore. We're like, oh, we gotta take, like, cause like we're both very family oriented.
Yeah, I think we have the same mindset. I mean, family comes first all the time. Just making sure they're being taken care of before we ourselves are taken care of. Yeah. I think I still gotta work on that. I feel like I take care of more people, like others before taking care of myself.
Yeah, me too. I've gotten a little bit better because like, my lifetime goal since I was a kid was like, somehow, some way, I'm gonna buy my parents a house. And then when it got to that point, I got them a house, which was, I probably shouldn't have spent that money because I just got to where I could do it. And I was like, whatever, I don't care, I'm gonna do it. And then I got them a house. Okay, so we're getting too far ahead. So then we start making money, and then you go to college. I'm still working as a waiter. And then
Yeah, I was in college, just trying to do college stuff. And then at the same time, like after seeing the paycheck, I was like, I know that we can take this even further. Like this has potential to grow. So we kind of like experimented with, like sketches until we hit like the parody realm. I was like, how do we take this into another level? And then that's when
you created Rolanda.
Rolanda was just in middle school. I loved cross-dressing.
It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good.
For Halloween parties.
Yeah, it was like a funny thing because in the Philippines, they always have a character that's either cross-dressing or very flamboyant.
When I was, in a wig or whatever, it just kind of transformed me into another person. Like, oh,
Hi, my name's Rolanda.
hey, what's up? And everyone started laughing. So I just fell in love with just like being that character and just making people laugh with that character.
Yeah,
So
I feel like a lot of your humor now and back in the day was like shock factor. Like, you're really good at shock factor. Like, whoa, I didn't expect that, or whoa, well, that's crazy.
like right now, I just love taking off my clothes.
He's naked.
He does. Yeah.
So then we took it seriously for like 5 years, and I remember everybody's like, yo, you guys gotta move to LA. That's where all the YouTubers are. That's where like it's booming out there now. You have to move there. And I was like, yeah, let's go. And you were like, not yet.
Not yet. To be honest, I didn't want to at all.
Yeah.
Just because I was just so comfy and like, families nearby. And
Friends, childhood friends.
I don't know, it just felt comfortable.
You told me that you wanted to finish college for your mom.
That too.
I didn't know the other stuff. I didn't know you were uncomfortable moving.
I just didn't want to move at all.
Oh.
So you're like, let's go. It's like, all right, I guess we're going, yeah.
Oh, I was just like focused, like my whole focus was my family and like getting as big as possible so we could. And then you said, oh, I have 2 more years of college. I was like, I'll wait for you.
Yeah.
And so I stayed as a waiter, even though we're making a lot more than I made as a waiter because I had nothing else to do and all my friends worked there. And I remember one day I came into work and leading up to that, like the first few months after we started making money, I would go to work and I would work like 5 shifts a week, but I stopped going in. I started working like 1 shift a week, and I would be paying people to work for me. So I'm like, oh, here's like $50, $100, go take my shift. And like, oh, okay, cool, because then they get that money plus the money they make working plus the tips, and like, yeah, so everybody's fine with that. But then after a little while, you're always in school.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, like all my friends work there. But now I'm just by myself, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna pay for my friends to get out of work too. So I started giving like $50, whatever, to other people to work for my friends. And then my friends were like, oh man, like I love hanging out with you. This is cool, but like I need to make money too. I have to go to work. And I was like, well, I'll just pay you what you would have made at work.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know you paid your friends to get out of work.
Yeah, so then I was getting out of work and my friends were getting out of work and I was giving them a little extra. So it was just a good time. And then one day I came in and my boss was like, Alex, come here.
Nope.
And I was like, what?
What? I
didn't tell you this?
I don't remember.
And my boss was like, Alex, sit down. And he's like, Alex, I heard you have another job. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I heard you're doing really well in it. And from what I'm hearing, you're making more money than me. And I was like, what? I was like, what? No way. And he's like, I own this restaurant. Why are you still working? And I was like, oh, I just love the atmosphere. Texas Roadhouse, man. I get to dance. I get to like every
Texas
table.
Roadhouse.
Yeah, every table.
I dance. I love dance.
Like, And then all my waiter staff would be like,
Oh, I'm dead.
and I'd be like, I got this.
Yeah.
I would be the one bringing customers up to dance. And then he was like, why are you still working here? I was like, I love the environment. I love like the staff. You run a really good restaurant. And then he hit me blindside. I didn't see it coming. He was like, look, man, like you're a great waiter. And everybody loves you. But there's people that actually need this job. And I was like, oh, you are so right. I was like, I am so sorry. And he's like, look, you're not fired, but this is your last day. And I was like, that's confusing, but I get the point. I was like, okay, cool. So then after that, I just went straight into writing. Like I had nothing else to do. I was just writing. Because what our roles back in the day were like, you were editor, I was writer. So I just spent all my time writing.
Yeah. You're good at it, bro. Like you I don't know where your head goes like most of the time, but you just converted that into paper and it's like, all right, this is how you fucking think. This is sick.
Yeah. So
like, all right.
Yeah, thanks to my boss for firing me because like all my everything went into writing, and I think it's the ADHD, especially as a kid. I still have it, but when I was a kid, it was like severe. I was diagnosed severe ADHD, and the scripts, they're like, I would just make it so no matter who you are, you would not expect what happens next to happen. And so then you finished college.
Yeah, I finished college. Well, yeah, because I told my mom, because she wanted me to be like a nurse or engineer. I remember after our big check of $7,000, I was like, yeah, let's change my life a little bit.
You switched your degrees, right?
I switched my degrees, yeah. It was like computer engineering to like film studies.
That helped a lot. And YouTube?
Huh? It did not. No, it did not. But I remember telling my mom, I was like, hey, I'm going to change my major. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's good. I like it. What? Do what? Film studies?
Ay, nako.
Yeah, I mean, she was not into it at first. Yeah. She was like, hey, you can do it, but you have to, support yourself in college, because I don't know if that's worth. And I was like, okay, I'll figure it out. And then we got the next check. It just got more than $7K.
Like double that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mom, look at this. I think I can afford college.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. And she was just, I don't know. We didn't express emotion, but I think she was happy. I think she was happy.
Yeah.
She was like,
I remember my parents being like, what? Because like at that age, like it was just like pretty shocking to everybody.
Yeah.
Because we're just kids from North Carolina,
I
man.
know, we were like 20s.
Yeah, just like we're 20s. Yeah, so we're like, oh, we just became adults pretty much.
So finished college.
Yep.
I was like, all right. Made my mom's dream happy. Her only dream was for all her children to finish college, which we all did recently. And
none of my siblings finished college.
That's fine.
You guys all did?
We did for our mom.
That's so good.
Yeah, and then I remember we went to my sister's graduation. She's the last person, or my sister and my brother graduated at the same time, and she just got very emotional. And it's like,
she did it. She did it. Yeah, she did her job.
Man, I could cry, but it's cool.
Yeah.
I'm holding it back, but I'm just, I love my
So
mom.
then we moved. It was time to move.
Then we moved.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember the last day of being in North Carolina, they threw us like that little pizza party.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? And then,
I remember walking in because I was like late, or you were there first, and I was like, we were both shocked, but I was like, whoa, like this is like all my friends, like my whole life is in this restaurant right now. My family's there, your family's there, and then I look over and I was like holding it in. I was like, okay, don't cry, and I look at you in the corner and you're like, I know. And then immediately I was like, oh, me too.
It's sad, man. It's like the last day they threw us a surprise party, and then like friends, family were just hugging us and crying. Like, this may be the last time I'll ever see you in my life. In my head. In my life, this is the last time I'll ever see you. Yeah. And the next day we flew out here to LA. Yeah. And things started changing.
It's crazy how like our families were very similar. They don't say I'm proud of you. They don't say I love you, but they show it. They just show it because it's hard to communicate.
Yeah, my family says I love you now.
Yeah, mine too. Cool. All the time now. Yeah, I think we all matured together. Now, every time we get off the phone, like every time we have any kind of communication, I love you. I'm like,
that took time.
Yeah, I think
crazy.
Oh, I thought you were about to high five. I think.
No.
I think.
I saw a dust, so I grabbed it.
I think both our parents, like we got them to be, hey, like let's express this. And we got older, but it didn't. Like it started with the family, but it didn't transfer to friendship yet because like we were like I got better with my family, you got better with your family, but like outwardly, even in my relationships, it was hard to express emotion.
I just want to go back on the emotion thing.
Yeah.
I think what was the key part of kind of just growing up as a person is understanding my own emotions and my own self in order for me to understand everyone else. I think that's where I grew the most, especially like when we were apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's fast forward, but let's go back.
Yeah.
So we moved and
things got weird.
No, it was awesome at first.
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
was awesome.
it was exciting, new place, new stuff. you know, we moved in together in the same apartment. It was
Yeah.
like empty. It was
Just
like,
you and me,
let's go to
first time."
IKEA. Let's furnish the shit out of this place to what we want it to be.
Yeah.
Blank slate everything. And then I think it was like probably like a month or 2 months later, I started becoming homesick. And moving is tough, even just moving in general, like even across the street. But moving across the country for the first time without knowing anyone who lives here in Los Angeles, it was tough, man. I just remember just waking up as late as I can just to pass the day.
Yeah.
And then even when I woke up, when I didn't have anything to do, I would just go to the mall and watch 3 movies. 'Cause
Yeah.
I knew it would take 6 hours, so the day would just end.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just got like really sad, and I just wanted to pass the time in some way or form. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think.
So how do you think it affected our relationship?
I think it was just turned into resentment. Because it's
Resentment?
like, yeah, it's more like you wanted to move. I didn't want to move, but I didn't know how to express
Yeah.
not wanting to move here. So I kind of just like, man, I don't want to be in LA.
Yeah.
I didn't want to move here in the first place. I'm so sad.
Yeah.
So anything that I did, whether it's like work or just like, you know, waking up every day, I'm just like, this sucks.
Yeah. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, I think that's where it all started.
Yeah. Because like I remember like we moved and then I didn't know you were going through all that. I just I was like, oh, I just didn't think you liked me anymore. And I was like, oh, he doesn't like me. So I started making other friends in the YouTube world and going to hang out with them and stuff. And I wasn't mature enough to see that that you were lonely and that you were homesick. And I think like since we weren't emotionally stable at the time, you were trying to hide that from me. So I didn't know. I just thought you didn't like me. So I was like, oh, I guess I'll leave you alone. And there was days where I would wake up and I was like, okay, today I felt like it got to the point where I felt like anything I said or anything I did would annoy you. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to talk to him unless he talks to me first, and then I'll respond. And I was just trying to think of ways to like stay out of your way.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
So I would go like, I would wake up in the morning and then go hang out with other people, and then I would bring them back, and then I didn't even like it. Oh, it's so dumb. It didn't even cross my mind that, oh, I should invite you with me and my friends because I just didn't think you liked me. So I was like, I just don't want to make it any worse.
Yeah.
But that's where I feel like that was my biggest failure as a friend, because you needed me and I couldn't see it. And like I pride myself on being like a good friend and a good boyfriend and good son. And that was my biggest failure, is not seeing that you needed me.
I think same
the
for
most.
me too. I mean, I just was so focused on myself so like f***ing much. I was like, all I cared about was just me being happy. So everything around me, like you and just everything, just didn't really matter. Yeah, I should have done the same for you, but I couldn't even. I didn't even know how to express or just understand things at the time, because I was just
we were just young, we were just kids trying to navigate, and we didn't know anything. Like we were just trying to figure it out. And this was like not like, oh, we can look at the past and be like, oh, this is what they did, because we were one of the first ones to do it. So it was just hard. It was so hard. And then so then we oh, and then this is the tough part.
the what?
That we got to talk about.
No.
So then it's
I
where
remember going
everything
back
came crashing
again.
down.
Like when you, I guess like when I was just doing my own thing, and then when I saw you like making friends or whatever, I was like, oh, I think I just got jealous that you were just like moving on, because I knew I wasn't really as sociable as you, and then you just like, you know, being the social butterfly you are, just making friends, like, oh, fuck, man, he's just getting used to this life now, and I just didn't know what to do. I was like, oh, like, fuck you, Alex, you moved on so fast. Like, how do you do that? And I just got jealous. I'm just like, I don't know, I just felt more like trapped.
I should have seen that, man. Like we were just kids, but like I should have realized what was happening. It's just communication.
No, yeah, 100%.
We just didn't know.
we didn't know how to do it because we never. I'm not bringing up our upbringing, but it's just like we didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
You know, we just didn't know.
So that was the beginning of the downfall.
Yeah.
So this is the hard part to talk about. I remember one day I think I was hanging out with Lauren and Fuzi, and then I started getting all these tweets, and then some friends would text me and be like, "Hey, did you see this?" And I was like, "What is it?" And you had a side vlog channel at the time, and I think your frustrations were coming out on camera.
I think so. Yeah, it was definitely coming out on camera.
And I think in the vlog you said, I remember being shocked, like, what? Because we didn't communicate, so I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
I didn't know how miserable you were feeling. And it said, man, you know, like, 90% of what you see on Wassabi, it's all me. Like, I do everything you see, it's all me. And then I was like, what? And you were out of town. So I texted you, and I was like, yo, what is this? And then your response made me even more upset.
What did I say?
I don't
remember any of it.
You said, oh, LOL, I didn't even know you watched my vlogs. And I said, yeah, I do watch them, but I didn't have to watch them to see this because I got a bunch of tweets and texts about it. And you were like, look, man, we need to talk when I get back. I'm thinking about leaving Wassabi Productions. And I was like, okay, cool, we could talk about that later. But why would you post that publicly online? And then you got mad at me. And you were like, I just told you I might leave Wassabi Productions and you don't care? And I was like, I do care, but we're on this topic, let's move on. And you're like, let's just talk when we get back.
Dude, I don't remember any of this. I think I was just like in this mindset where I'm just like so resentful and just felt like a zombie and just all I wanted to do is just kind of do my own thing. And I don't know. I think us not communicating made me feel like I was doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because we didn't talk. I was like, okay, I don't know what's happening with you. Yeah. I only know what's happening with me, so.
I remember being pretty upset, or like, okay, let's meet up, because I think we weren't living together anymore. We got our separate places, and we met up at P.F. Chang's in Burbank or Sherman Oaks or something.
Sherman Oaks.
And we went to go sit down, and then you said you wanted to leave.
Yeah. I vaguely remember like our conversation, but I do remember like that moment.
Yeah. And then you wanted to shut it down. You were like, we're going to shut down Wassabi Productions. And I was like, no, we're not. I'm going to keep it alive. And you were like, without me? And I was like, I don't want you to leave, but you want to leave. And then it just blew up. Like I feel like we didn't talk for how long after that? Like 2 years, 3 years?
I think the first time we saw each other was like the Streamies.
Yeah, at some award show.
Yeah.
And I remember
2 years later,
we split up, and like it just ended horribly. Like we left that P.F. Chang's so upset, and I was like, I don't need him, and then you were like, I don't need him, and we're just dumb kids, and we're like, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it is just, I don't even know. I feel like looking back at it now and talking about it, that could have been easily avoidable.
It's so avoidable. So
talking
dumb.
Like, hey, this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do that, bro. I was just so selfish.
Yeah, me too. Like I was like me, my family. You were like me, my family. And
yeah. So I was just so resentful and malicious. Passive aggressiveness was like the only thing I knew how to do. It's just like, hey, f you, but I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Communication. That's just the key to any relationship.
Yeah.
I'm an asshole.
No, you're not. We're both I feel like everybody's an asshole at some point. We just happen to be assholes at the same time.
Yeah.
There's a couple comments like where you snapped at me kind of like out of nowhere, and I was like, what? And I was like, oh. And then like I didn't know how to confront that, so I was just like, oh, I gotta be a good boy. I gotta like start like doing whatever. And I remember thinking the 90% thing, where you're like, oh, I do 90% wasabi. I mean, thinking back on it after like everything, after years of maturing, I was like, man, I really did drop the ball. Because for the first 8 years, I was doing all the writing, you were doing all the editing. And then with all the passive aggressive stuff and our relationship going downhill, I was like, I don't think he thinks writing is important. I think because like writing, like it would take forever. I had to like think about stuff, and I'm like, oh, and then once I get the idea, it only took like maybe an hour at the most to write it down and figure it out. But then you had to edit it, it took like 8 hours or however many hours. So you saw your job as more important. And then once we moved to LA, we got an editor, and I was like, nice. So we both became writers. Then in those 2 years, I started slacking on writing, and you kind of took the brunt of it. And in my head, I was like, man, I wrote for 8 years. I can like take a break. And but then like, same thing. I didn't realize how much workload you were picking up for me.
We're so fucking stupid, bro.
Yeah, it's just
like
dumb.
this is so. We could have been so good.
Yeah. Like, we're both very successful on our own, but imagine where we'd be if we never broke up. That's like probably the biggest regret I have is breaking up.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just kind of like both our manpowers together could have made something even bigger.
Yeah.
And even greater.
And we did good as kids. Imagine what we would have done as adults. Like, I don't know. I hate that I let you down.
That's not your fault, man.
I know,
It was just kind of me just being a bitch.
In the 2 years or 3 years we didn't talk, what were you thinking then?
It was just more like I'm gonna prove everyone wrong. Because when I left, it's just so... everything was just negative. All the feedback, it's like, hey, you f***ing nothing without Wassabi, or you should have stayed with Alex, and it was just me just proving everyone wrong.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, f*** you, I can do my own shit, and I can do this on my own. So I think all of that just feeding into me just kind of ignited this fire just to prove everyone wrong.
Yeah.
And like, okay, I could make this happen. I could do this, I could do that. It was tough because like in the beginning I just didn't know who I was because I was just so used to like playing Rolanda or just being this Roy Wassabi character persona for so long. I just kind of experimented and everything.
I remember being so scared. Like, I wasn't showing you because I was like, oh, I'm tough, I'm a man, I can do this. But I remember when we split up, I was like, oh, what am I gonna do without you? Because I was so scared. I was like, oh, like I didn't know what to do. So I started vlogging, and then same with you. I was like, oh, he thinks this is gonna fail. It's not gonna fail. I'm gonna keep Wassabi alive. I can do this. So I started vlogging every day for 3 years. So unhealthy. Like daily vlogging. Always had my camera on me. Always filming every experience I had on camera. I feel like we like probably weren't purposely competing, but in the back of our heads we're like, I'm gonna do better. No, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better. And we both like did really well.
I remember I left when Wassabi had like 5 million subscribers, like 2 billion views. So that was my goal.
To beat that?
To beat that number. Oh, yeah. And I would just be happy.
Yeah. And then once you surpassed that, how did you feel?
I was like, yeah, I did it. But then as time went on, I was like, what was even the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like after we like got back together, like I saw you again.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
I remember I saw you at the Streamies and they had us at the same table, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, this is gonna be awkward. And I knew you were gonna be there. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be so weird. I haven't seen him in years, but over half my life, you were part of it. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be so nervous. And I went back to, okay, just don't annoy him. Don't make him upset. Don't start the conversation. Let him start the conversation. And then you can join in after. And like all these, like I remember practicing for that dinner. I think I was dating Lauren at the time. And I remember I wasn't good at conversation. So I wasn't telling her how nervous I was. I just went to the bathroom and I would just be on my phone like, okay, if he says this, I'm gonna say this. If he does this, I'm gonna say this. And I was like, oh, and I was so nervous. And then we got there. We have a picture from there. Remember I laid on your shoulder?
Oh yeah.
And like I was like trying to like ease my way into being like, hey, I miss you, without saying it because we didn't know how to say it.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, can we take a picture? And you're like, yeah. And then I was gonna like put my hand around you. I was like, no, I'm gonna lay on him. And then we took the picture, and then I was just so happy in that moment. I was hiding it, but I was so happy I could have cried. I was like, oh, I missed you so much. But then I'm just like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, I know.
What's up, Roy?
That was a breakthrough for me too. It's just like I'd been so apart from you. I just didn't know how. I low-key just wanted to know how you were.
Yeah.
How things are. Yeah. And stuff like that.
Could have just watched my daily vlogs.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Did you watch them when we were apart? You just catch up sometimes?
Just catch up. I was like, what's he doing? Right,
yeah.
Cool. You're with Lauren. Cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when we were at the Streamies, Boys to Men performed, and they were like, all my life, I'm waiting for someone like you. And I was just like,
you're looking at me?
Yeah, and then when you look at me, I was like, ooh. But then I was like, it's you. It's always been you. I should have never left.
Then after that, we just started hanging out more and more slowly.
Yeah,
you would invite me to like play basketball. Like,
yeah.
Every time you text me, I'm like, let's ball. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going. Yeah. I'm like, we're so fucking. This could have been avoided.
I know, but it's okay. We grew past it. I feel like we're better friends now than we were.
I think so.
Back then, like now we're more open. Like I tell you about my problems, you tell me about your problems, but we're getting ahead of ourselves again. We're just so excited to be back together.
yeah, for sure. I think moving to LA was definitely.
We didn't even need to do that. Mr. Beast didn't move. He stayed in North Carolina. We could have stayed.
I feel like for our friendship, it had to happen.
Yeah.
I feel like if we stayed back in North Carolina, I don't know what would have happened. Yeah, probably the same.
Probably the same.
Yeah, just like resented you in some way or form.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like moving here kind of like exponentially grew us together and apart to get to where we are now.
Yeah.
Like I needed to like leave.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, just to figure out myself and allow myself to reach whatever goals I needed to reach, to realize that it didn't really matter.
Yeah, no matter how much money, no matter success, views, subscribers, it didn't matter. Like coming back together has been like, we've been doing this for combined 34 years. We've been doing YouTube.
Dang.
And getting back together is the highlight of my whole career.
Oh, no way.
I'm so glad. Like when you called me, I was in Boston, and you randomly texted me because so we were apart. We didn't talk for a while. We were like just dumb kids. Then we met again. Thank you, streamies.
Streamies.
Thank you, streamies, for bringing us back together. And then I can't remember our first collab. What was our first collab back? Like,
I don't. I don't.
We're gonna put a clip up here. We can't remember right now. We're like, hey, let's film a video for you, for me, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I'm gonna have you back on my channel. I'm gonna be on your channel for the first time ever. It went on like that for a couple of years, and the most fun I had in those years making videos, even though I was making hundreds of videos, was when you would ask me to come film with you, or when you were free to come film with me.
Same.
Every time I got a text from you, immediate response. I'm not gonna wait. I'm like, yep, where? I'll be there. Yep, 2 hours, got it, doesn't matter.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Manager, I gotta cancel some stuff. I got something important I gotta do, and rearrange stuff just to be there.
Oh.
And then I remember going to Boston, and I was with my girlfriend's family for the first time, and we're like doing like Thanksgiving or Christmas drinking games. And then I get a text from you, and you said, hey, you got a minute to talk? I want to pitch you something. And I was like, hey, pitch away, boy. So I called you. I went outside. It was freezing. It was Boston, and I was like, hey man, what's up? And you're like, yo.
I said, hey, you think we should start a channel together? Just get back together, start something fresh, because all our audience, our fans have grown, and I feel like it's a great opportunity for us to kind of grow with them.
Yeah.
And you were down.
Yeah.
You're like, yes. Okay.
I was like, yes, let's go. Immediately, like I didn't even think about it. I was like, yep. And I was a little tipsy, and I went inside immediately. I told my girlfriend, I was like, oh my God, you're not gonna believe what happened. This is crazy. It's a Christmas miracle. Like, oh, Roy said he wants to get back together. I don't know if he's serious, but he sounded serious. And this is all I've ever wanted. Like, just a chance to redeem our friendship. Like, people don't get that. Like, if we never got back together, I would have regretted that for the rest of my life.
Oh, wow.
But we got to mend. I remember going and sitting down, and they were like, Alex, it's your turn. I was like, oh, I can't right now. And I was like, I'll be back. Give me like an hour. And I sat down, and I came up with like 10 or 20 names. And I was like, okay, we can be this, we can be that, we could be Sweet Heat, we could be SPICYFRUIT, we could be blah, 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 we could be this, we could be that, we could be like whatever, we could just be Alex and Roy. I sent that, and you were like, oh shit. Like, you don't have to, have fun with your family, bro. It's Christmas, don't focus on this. But I was just so excited, I couldn't think of anything else.
Yeah.
I was like, I want this.
Oh, plane. Yeah, I just think it was the right move on our end, just because I feel like, guava juice is guava juice, but after a while, it just felt like me going through the motions kind of thing, just like filming, just to get things out. And I felt that like when I was filming guava juice videos, I was just like, hey guys! I was like, And then I'm just like, there's like no emotion. It's just like all forced. And every time we filmed together, you came to collab on the guava juice channel, I felt like normal.
Yeah.
I haven't felt that way in so long, and I just thought it was the right move to just, hey, I just want to feel normal again. I just want my best friend back again. Just to, I don't know if it's like just making sure that we amend our mistakes or bad vibe. I don't know. Just in my mind, I just knew that I had to be with you in some way on YouTube, just because I don't know.
I had the same feeling, because like that's why I turned to boxing, because I was like, I can't leave YouTube because I have loved ones and friends and family I need to take care of. I gotta put my little brother through college. I got a niece. I gotta help her out. I gotta take care of my family, take care of my like future family that I'm hoping for soon. And I was like, man, I can't. But then boxing gave me an outlet to still remain in the YouTube realm, but not have to do YouTube. I can just work out every day and still accomplish the goals, stay in the world of YouTube.
Yeah.
And then, but I remember Wassabi was family friendly, but I kind of skewed it to like teenagers.
Yeah.
You went the opposite route to kids. And we would come film, and then we would film some stuff, but like we would make adult jokes, and the whole crew and you and me were just die laughing. We're crying, but we couldn't put it in the video. So we would be like, okay, editors, make sure to cut that part. But it's like it's the funniest part, and I think that's how we both realized, like, oh, Spicy Fruit, we're gonna move from Wassabi. We're not gonna go back. We're gonna start something new. We're gonna bring the core fan base so we can have a good foundation, and we can do what we want. We can actually make each other laugh. We don't have to force it. Like every time we film, like everybody's laughing.
It's just the epitome of our true selves in the Spicy Fruit channel. Like, I can say dicks. It's like.
You can. We can say anything. We can do anything. We can push the envelope. We can we're taking risks over there. If you haven't seen Spicy Fruit stuff, you're gonna be like, whoa, I didn't even know that was allowed to be on YouTube. And guess what? We didn't know if it was either, but apparently it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's great.
Yeah, we're just, we're trying to find our voice.
That's what happened to me in Guava Juice. I didn't know who I was. And then, behold, kids content. Shit. All right, let's go. I guess I gotta do this.
That was a good move back in the day, because that's where all the money was. But now I think we're both, like, we still want to grow. We're still gonna play to the algorithm, thumbnails, titles, and stuff. But we get to do what we want, and I feel like that's a priority for us, is to make sure we're happy, and we don't have to do it alone.
Yeah, I think we're matured a lot more than we have. I feel like I'm still trying to figure myself out, but I feel like I understand who I am more. And I know who I am emotionally. And I can ask you, like, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling? What do you think about this and about that? And we know how to speak.
I just want to make you proud. I just don't want to let you down.
Me proud?
Yeah.
Why me?
Because there's a lot of trust you put into me. You're like, I want to take this risk with you. I just really appreciate that, and I just don't want to let you down. And I promise you right now, I'm never going to let you down as a friend again.
Me too. I think from now on, I'm just going to check in with you, be like, hey, how are you? You doing okay? How are you?
I'm good. I'm so much better than I have been in the last 8 years we've been apart.
I think we're better friends as we're I don't know. I'm just so happy of our friendship right now.
Me too. This is all I've ever wanted, and I'm so glad, because I was so lost. I was like, you know how you were like, oh man, I was jealous of you, like you're a social butterfly.
Yeah.
I really thought the world of you. Growing up, I like, man, everything, I don't ever expect to cry. And then when I start talking about it, I'm like, oh, but growing up, you were like the coolest guy. I remember telling anybody that wanted to hear it, I would be like, yo, let me tell you about Roy. Like, you know, he taught himself this, he taught himself that. He's just so cool. Like, he wanted to stay, even though we're potentially gonna make millions of dollars. He's like, I want to put that on hold for my family. And I was like, man, he is just the greatest guy ever. And I can't believe I messed that up, but that's in the past now. Now we are. Man,
I'm just I was a fucking asshole to you. I'm so sorry.
No, me too. I'm so sorry. I feel like
I didn't know you felt that.
I still think you're like the coolest guy ever. You're just yourself, like unapologetically. You don't let other people dictate who you are, what they think about you. Doesn't matter. And like, that's hard for somebody like me, because I always wanted to be liked. I was like, oh, I want to make that person happy. I want to make that person laugh. And like, then when I thought you didn't like me and I was letting you down,
That tear up your world.
It would mess me up. I was like, man, I remember trying so many different strategies to fix it, but I just didn't know the underlying factor. But it's all in the past now. We're back together, and we making moves, boy.
Yeah,
I'm so happy that like this is how I would want to end my YouTube career. It's like, oh, if I had to pick anybody in the 9 billion people in the world, how would I want to be done with this phase of my life? So we've talked about it kind of. For the next 10 years minimum, we're going to go hard, all out, you and me together. Maybe longer, but at least 10 years. And I don't want to cry again. I'm thinking, every time I think about our future together, I'm like, man, like, this is going to be so fun. And you're married, which is crazy still. Like, I'm still not used to that. And then...
What do you think about my marriage? How'd you feel?
All I've ever wanted to do, like, since I can remember, is take care of my family. But, like, I feel like I was born to be a dad and a husband. And you're a husband now.
Husband is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like it.
Yeah. And then you were like, I remember being like, oh, I think you invited me to your wedding. And I was like, nice, I'm so glad I didn't miss this. I'm so glad we patched things up. And we got to do this. And then you were like, yeah, it's going to be dope. I'm going to get married. I'm a husband. And I was like, cool. And then you were like, yo, you want to film a video? And I was like, yeah, cool. And I remember coming over and you're like, I want to film a video. Well, you never even released that footage.
I should release it. I can just keep it deep in my heart.
You can keep it deep in your heart, or you can just show the clip right now.
The gadget scene 2, take 1. You wanna guess what's in here? What?
I came over, just normal video, just excited to come film here again, and then you were like, okay, we're gonna try foot gadgets. Here's this box.
I have no idea. Okay, open it toward the
And I
camera.
was like, cool, open it, do that gadget. Next box, open it, do that gadget. And you were like, this box, this is a cool one, it's a really cool one. And I was like, okay, like the other ones are pretty cool too. I don't know why this one's special. And you were like, adjusting it to make it perfect under the camera, and I was like, why are you making sure this one's a lot more perfect than the other ones? Still didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, open it. And I was like, oh, and I shook it, and then I was like, it doesn't sound like anything's in there. And then I open it, and it said, will you be my groomsman? And I was like, oh. I was like, no way.
Oh! Yeah, yes I will.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
What? And I didn't even think of that as a possibility because we missed so much of each other's lives. I didn't know you, because groomsmen, that's important. That's like, the groomsman is like the most important people in your life. And you bring them together for the most important day of your life. And I was just so honored, and I was like flabbergasted, didn't see it coming at all. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, immediately yes. But I was shocked. I remember being like, no way. Yes,
groomsman. No, because you are a big part of my life.
Yeah.
You're basically more than half my life, and
Yeah.
I was like, Alex has to be a groomsman. For you guys wondering why he wasn't the best man, my brothers were the best man. Family first, baby. Gang, gang.
Wait, would I have been the groomsman if your brothers were?
If my brothers were, you would have been the best man.
Oh!
Yeah,
That's cool.
for sure.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. And then I remember being like, oh, your brothers, are they gonna do a speech? And you were like, yeah, they are. And I was like, oh, can I do a speech? And I did not expect your reaction. You were like, bro, do you want to? That'd be awesome. Would you be down? And I was like, wait, can I? And you were like, would you? And I was like, can I? And you were like, would you? And I was like, yeah, I will. And you were like, you really? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh. I remember there was nights I didn't sleep. I was trying to think of what to say in this speech. I was like, okay, I just did my brother's speech.
Yeah.
Because I was the best man for his wedding. I don't even remember how it went. I was so nervous. Like, I think I was more nervous for yours than Aaron's. Because Aaron's like, I was like, oh, we've been good. Like, that's my brother. Yeah. But with yours, like, we have a past. So I was like, oh, I gotta nail this one.
Make sure you say the right thing. I'll be passive aggressive with you if you don't.
And then, should we show just a little clip of the speech?
Yeah.
Okay.
You started your speech with a rap. I was like,
it wasn't a rap.
Is this guy really rapping? Well, you said it as a rap.
For those of you that don't know me, I am Roy's older other brother from another Filipino mother. And I'm here to tell you, I'm like no other. Because from what you're about to discover, is my speech about to be smooth as butter.
This is my friend Roy. Here's my boy. I don't know what he said.
I don't remember either. But that was funny. I was like, how can I make it memorable? I'm gonna bring them up and then bring them down.
I'm being 100% truthful when I say you are the kind of man I strive to be.
And then you started crying, and then I said, bro, don't cry. If you cry, I'm gonna cry. And then you stopped crying. I was like, oh,
Don't start crying, Roy. Don't do it. Okay, even though I'm the older one, between us, I always and always will look up to you. Roy, you entered my life as a stranger I wanted to show a magic trick to. You grew to be my best friend, my role model, and my brother.
And then I just felt like all this relief. I was like, oh, okay, it's done. One of the most important speeches of my life is done.
Aww.
I was like, okay.
The moment you get married, I'm gonna cry so much.
Yeah?
Just because I know that you really want to find the one, and you're always searching for the one. So the moment you find the one, I'm like, this guy did it, man.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be the best husband ever. I'm gonna try my hardest to I can't wait to have kids, man. Oh.
You're gonna do great, bro.
Yeah.
We're just we care so much about family, and that's the core of who we are as individuals, and how we care and put others first. I think you're gonna be an amazing dad and husband.
And an uncle to your kids. Wait till our kids, they're gonna grow up together. As soon as you have a kid, I'm gonna be like, hey, Alexis, we gotta get moving because they're gonna be too young, and we gotta have them. They gotta be in the same grade.
No. No.
I'm excited, man, to have kids. Oh, I'm so glad we reconciled, because our kids are gonna get to have what we have, and they wouldn't have even known what they're missing out on.
We gotta teach them how to communicate though, growing up.
Yeah,
bro. That's the one key part.
We'd be like, hey, make sure to ball it all up and never let it out. Have it ruin all your relationships. It's gonna be so fun. And then when you reconcile, it's gonna be great.
Okay, that actually might be the best way to do it.
I mean, it worked for us, but we gotta not let them make our mistakes. We went through it so that they don't have to.
That's true. Damn. Yeah. We're old.
We're old. We're getting around.
But I'm happy to be old with you, bro.
Yeah.
Any day.
We're gonna get so old together.
Yeah.
We're gonna get matching hearing aids.
Oh my! You're thinking that far? Yeah. Dang, bro, we should just get married.
My guy.
Wait.
All right. Be very excited for season 2 of Spicy Fruit. It's happening soon. What day is it?
I'm gonna start a new channel now.
Oh. No. I think that's good. And then it will just cut there, and then they'll be like, Spicy Fruit season 2. All right. Woo! Let's get back to the crazy fun videos. This is a little stressful.
Yeah.
Let's tattoo each other.
What?
Remember, you said I could hang you by your hair, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Can you tattoo my ass? I've always wanted an ass ring.
Can I put my name? We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. But that's what's in my mind. You said I was your best friend. Prove it.
What's going on, guys?